Gourmet to the stars. Scene 1. I check in to Guest House Goggrahib. Characters: Lory Gato, Xeno Goggrahib, and some bots. So that's it. Xeno Goggrahib looked at me expectantly while I digested. He spoke standard Pan, as did everyone. The landlords here were supposed to be Tanegi. What was Tanegi? Don't ask. I didn't care. Get in, get a place to stay, do my business and move on. I didn't give a fig who or what was my landlord. This is fine. How long? 2, 3 nights, 4 at most. 5, I said. You never knew. I paid and thought about lugging my bags from the spaceport. No, I'll leave it till tomorrow. I signed my name, Lory Gato, and went up to my room. I was officially booked into Guest House Goggrahib, Settlement Prime, on Tanegi 36. First stop, the coffee machine. I switched it on and considered my itinerary. The Blue Lagoon? No blue lagoons on this planet. Space dust? The Star and Dragon? And Earthmen Go Home. This was a Tanegi world, so doubtless a Tanegi translation of the last would be Tanegi Go Home. What they call their bars isn't my affair. As a star hopper, I see a lot. Some jokes wear thin. I hadn't been on a Tanegi world before though. This one was called Tanegi 36. Why 36? No idea. If I got bored, I'd pump one of the locals for info. The buzzer rang. I picked up the comm. Mr. Gato, I have a call for you. Me? Who knew I was here? Well, obviously Seed did. As one of their commissioning agents, they ought to know that they were several hundred light years away. Ergo, a comm call from base would take several hundred years to reach. Comm calls weren't routed through space. If Seed wanted me, they'd push a message through Padgnate. Instantaneous. Da 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 da. Put it through. A metronomic voice intoned in English. Mr. Gato, you have luggage to collect. I sponsor spaceport hospitality and offer bargain collection service. The translator unit must be an early one. It had got to my details fast. Why was it making the offer now? Was my luggage already through security? Was it worrying it had been Q-jumped? Why English? I made the mental leap. Rate? 12 Tanegi credits. A different intonation, and obviously a different program being called into play. Perhaps one standard for robots on this planet. That sounded steep. I want to check with other collection services. Let it stew. Robotic life was recognised, but in practice few held any sympathy for it. Certainly not greedy bots. The original voice returned. No other collection service. What? Bots haggled? Did they lie? What if it was telling the truth? Still, this was just pin money. I decided to cough up and check up on it later. I could always complain. Go ahead. I completed the transaction and put down the comm. A coffee sat waiting to be sipped. I'd made it while wondering whether to haggle. The bed was a twin. A door opened to an ensuite. I went to the window. Gauze covered it. I pushed it aside. Alien Tanegi architecture with a small admixture of flat-pack human condos lay before me. Outside was inviting. It's one of the perks of star hopping. I wanted to stretch my legs, but I ought to stay to catch my luggage. My coffee was getting cold. Okay, the dregs were. The buzzer rang again. It was my luggage. I went to reception to take delivery. Mr. Gato? A standard infrared oculus studied me from the apex of a hissing, clanking humanoid shape. The other eye wouldn't have looked out of place on a blood-crazed droid. It looked at me, then swiveled to the innards of a Guest House Goggrahib, before finding something of great interest on the floor. Each gyration was accompanied by the sound of gears and springs. The landlord was nowhere to be seen. A gyro bike was parked not far from the entrance. Outside was a thin white glare of a distant sun. Havel 71. It had a non-human name that I could pronounce. I shivered a little. It questioned a patient, and again in English. "Sir?" Why couldn't it just use plain Pan? I asked it. "Just making you feel at home, sir?" Never mind its strange eye, I was the one with the wandering mind. I checked my bags, all present. Did I pay a tip? No, just a robot. It trundled out, its gleaming appearance compromised by a list on its left. See one faulty robot, you've seen them all. "Sir Gato." I jumped nervous. Then I realised it was Sir Goggrahib, my landlord. He continued in Pan. "Now that you have taken possession of your luggage, you may be interested in this." He offered me a garish sheet, titled at the top, Human Hangouts. Listed below in more sober writing were several associations and clubs. I noted the bars included the Blue Lagoon and Earthmen Go Home. "Thank you," I offered. I already knew my next steps, but there was no harm asking the question. "In fact, I've been wondering, I fished in my pocket. I'm a certified representative of Seed." I flashed my card in front of him and continued. "For beverages, intoxicating and otherwise, this can involve testing and experimentation. I seek new flavours for piquant, otherworldly experience that can be brought to the palate of the discerning." He looked down at his thumbs. Did I see a sign he was non-human? "I could make enquiries. I could have hired a bot. Correction, I could have hired yesterday's bot and ordered it to take me to the nearest hooch outlet. There was a time and place to have my every movement monitored, which is what a bot would mean. I could wait. Now was settling in time. The new alien in town, that's me, would have leeway for mistakes. Put another way, an opportunity to nose round and get a feel for the place. Besides, research was often sedentary, so a walk would do me good. The afternoon was wearing on. At street level there would be more shadows than sun, which was distant. Dusk would chill quickly. Time to step out.